Right, it's Monday in Joburg. We've pretty much got the whole course to ourselves because there was a golf tournament on here this morning, and I don't think anyone's coming by to play it this afternoon, so we're just out on the west course here at Royal. So we've got par 5 and we're going to take it over the corner. About 185 pin, so it's gonna get a good 8 iron. It is seriously hot here today, which I'm not moaning about at all. I'm just making an observation. It is it's like 4:30 in the afternoon now, almost. It's about 30 degrees. So this morning I was doing some of the online lessons that come through the other day. And then, yeah, just been in the gym working some strengths. This week, I've got a full day training with Maka, who is very famous in Zimbabwe. And he's a long drive professional. He's an absolute legend, and that is going to be a lot of fun. So we're spending a whole day together with training, doing some speed training, and perhaps playing some golf as well. So we've got some good stuff coming up this week. And whilst I am chatting about everything, Abel's Black Friday sale is still live. It's up to 60% off, plus use James 10, you get an extra 10% off. So loads of people so far have used my code, so I appreciate everyone that's used my code. I know we're helping each other out here. But yeah, to everyone else, if you still want to get in, better act fairly quick. Oh, Jesus. That is ridiculous. Okay, that could be... Right, 130 middle, so that was 340, which is 370 yards. Like that. Should be close. Right. So here's a good example. And this is not a perfect example, but just imagine this at home. So you've got like a sandy lie with tight grass, and if you get that leading edge in, it's absolutely dead if you bottom out before the ball. And I've used this from different distances out here, so you can use this for full like 50-yard pitch shots or the shots around the green. And it's just all about tempo. So it's usually for shots a bit longer than this. But when you're really trying to use that bounce, the worst thing you can do is get quick from the top, because when you get quick, generally what you do is you lead with your hands. So what I'd like to do is get the hands back a bit, open the face a bit, so expose some bounce, and then just take some practice swings where you're just swinging super slow from the top. You're allowing time for the head to catch up with the hands. Then you can just, say here for instance, I'll just try and fat this. So it's the ball's just underneath that. And because the leading edge isn't digging, the club head doesn't slow down, and you get really good results like that. So we'll do it again. Just really slow, allowing time for the club to catch up. And those two worked out pretty well. Now that's purely 4 times when you're faced with a horrible lie and you just want to make sure the leading edge doesn't dig at all. So you get that leading edge out the question. You allow time for the head to catch up with the hands. And it just takes so much pressure off of strike, because when you get that leading edge in and you're relying on perfect low point control, that's when you're likely to get even more nervous and get even quicker and dump that leading edge in before the ball, and you made to look very silly. But if you take a few practice swings, you're allowing time for that club to overtake the hands, and you can literally see how much room for error you have, because it's not really error. You're just increasing your margins massively. That gives you loads of confidence, and then you can just make a nice smooth swing. It works from around the greens and it works from when you've got horrible lies from 50 meters. I've had a few out here since I've been playing tournaments, whereas in the past I would have absolutely shit myself. And because I had a lot of confidence in what I was trying to do, I was opening up a 56 slightly and just letting that club head overtake the hands, even from like 50 meters, just hitting these lovely spinny pitch shots. And that's been a massive bonus to the arsenal. So yeah, give that a try if you're ever faced with a lie like that. Right, as we're out here just having a bit of a mess about when I practice, I put on the community the other day, if you got any questions, let me know. SP5VD, I'm guessing that was randomly generated. Downswing through to impact in general, that theme would be awesome. And that's actually had the most likes in the community. So just literally talking about how to start your transition down through to impact, I guess. From the bottom, finishing with the club head. From the bottom, I mean from the floor, using the lower body first. And the correct transition for that is to start shifting weight back towards the target, because generally people, you should really move off of the golf ball at least a certain degree, unless you're a stack and tilt player in which you stay on your left side. I don't really push people towards that at all. I think it's best to either do what Liam was talking about, where you really make an effort to get off of the golf ball, keeping your pelvis high, or at least, you know, stay fairly central but shift your weight. So the start the downswing should start with a bit of a shift back of weight towards target, and also you'll start to load forces into the floor. Look at that thing! Bloomin' hell, John! So you can either obviously get off it a lot, or you can, you know, not move off it too much but still get your weight shift going back. If you stack and tilt, this doesn't really apply as much, but so you're going to get off the golf ball a certain degree. To start transition, you want to get the weight moving back towards target. Whilst doing that, you start to load forces into the floor and add a bit of rotation. So the correct move from the top is to start moving weight back, then you get into this rotational force whilst pushing into the floor. That in turn opens up this left knee. That gets the torso rotating. The arms should be somewhat connected to the upper body, and then last of all is the hands and the club head. So it's like that big whip feeling. There's that crazy guy who does that Marooch stuff, and he talks about a lot of throwing drills, and really it's actually a really great drill to feel, because when we're skimming stones, which is what he goes by, the throw, you just think, right, I'm gonna underarm skim. So you get some golfers that lose their athleticism and just go shoulder at the ball, no lower body. But if you tell them to pick up a ball or a stone and skim it into the water, they don't go like this. They'll pick it up and they'll go, look at the sequencing. So up to the top, lower body goes, in slow-mo it looks like this. How good does that look as a golf swing? And imagine you're skimming the stone and you get the correct feel. So you can almost use that if you're really struggling with the correct sequence, and you're struggling with sort of like going lower body to upper body to hands to arms to hands. Just pick up a stone or a ball and just get in a golf posture and just do some underarm throws and get a feeling for that. Step in, hit a golf shot, try to sort of replicate that feeling. So I hope that helps in some way. That's probably 110 to that flag, 56 degree. Right, we're going to finish on this really nice par 3, 213. Great par 3. Great par 3.
that is just beautiful.
Someone has said early extension. So Stu Crompton has asked about early extension. So how do you fix early extension? There's a lot of reasons why you may be early extending, but I've got a really good drill that's gonna sort of pull you away from early extension, or at least give you a good feeling for not early extending that you can then sort of try and mold into your action. I always like using drills to give you the correct feel, so then you can use that feel, sorry for the noise, and take it into your golf swing, and hopefully it seeps in. It's just beautiful. Oh, let's make birdie. I didn't hit many putts today. And yeah, final one about aim point. So I think someone asked about, and this is just going to be extremely brief, because if you want to know aim point, you've got to go to an aim point certified coach. Like, just don't try and learn it off someone who's not certified, because as part of the certification you need to get yearly updates, and they're constantly evolving the methods to make it as accurate and easy to implement as possible. So go see someone. Someone asked me, and I'm sorry, I'm just in a bit of a rush, so I'm not going to read your name, but they asked me, do you go by exact percentages? And yeah, that's essentially what you're trying to do. You're trying to become a human spirit level, and I'm not even taking the piss. That is what you're trying to do with aim point. So you get a feel, you work out the percentage of the slope, and then from there's an equation that you can use based on the green speed, and whether it's uphill, downhill, generally how quick it is, so you can work out your exact break line. And that is generally a lot wider than you would be used to, because what you'll see is, if people have never used aim point and they've never looked into sort of what Pels and Mickelson were going on about years ago, like your true break line, it is usually a lot wider than you're used to. So usually when you go right edge, you'll actually be starting that further than right edge, but you're so used to feeling it's right edge, so you'll just sort of be like, that's a right edge putt. When you start using aim point, you start getting full break lines, and it's just a much more accurate way. But like I said, go see a specialist, go see a aim point certified coach. Right, that's it for the day. I'm going to get some food, cook up a massive steak, and continue the bulk. And we're going to put on some clubhead speed this winter. And I may, if there's anyone still watching this video, I may be opening up some spaces. I may be opening up some spaces to work with a certain amount of golfers on their training, on their golf swing, to increase their power, increase their clubhead speed this winter. Maybe. I'm thinking about it right now. Alright, so if there's anyone that may be up for that, just leave a comment. But based on how many I'll get, I'll think about doing it as a service.